Ladies and gents, welcome back to another video. Bitcoin is down. The market is more red. My laptop is in frame now. Push that back. In this video, we're going to be talking about some important moves to make in the crypto markets. If you guys are a newer investor, intermediate, or you're super advanced, whatever level you are, hopefully this video is of some value to you, and I'm confident it will be. In this video, we're going to be talking about what is going on in the market. We're going to be talking about why Bitcoin has gone down and gone down even more today. Ladies and gents, welcome back. Live stream, welcome back. I know I'm a little bit late over here. My bad on that, but we're getting started right now. So hopping into the computer, obviously we're seeing some red in the market today. We're seeing Bitcoin, seeing Bitcoin at $40,071.97, with the global crypto market cap sitting at $1.81 trillion, or down 4.59%. We are also seeing the crypto fear and greed index, like we stated yesterday, going down on this barometer, turning into a 30, which puts us in a more fearful zone. Video off, wanted to come out with this little bit of a funny tweet right here. Well, I thought it was funny. It's a picture of the old presidents laughing. It looks like Mr. Buffet is over here, and they state, "Then we made them think World War III is happening, and they sold their Bitcoin." I think my little guy's over it. So this is just going to give you an example of where we are in terms of climate within the crypto markets. There are going to be the whales, then there are going to be the shrimps, and then there are going to be us microplankton. I don't even think we make too big of a deal within the markets. A lot of the movements we do see happening is because of larger exchanges, larger institutions, and a lot of those whales that hold millions upon millions of dollars within the crypto markets. So a lot of you guys may be thinking most recently, like, why has crypto gone down? Why has Bitcoin gone down so drastically? Like, what is going on within these markets? Because even just a few months ago when Bitcoin was at $60,000, the psychology of investors wanting to invest back in, when the price of this asset was literally double of currently where we're at right now, near double of where it was at right now. Why has things changed so significantly? And market psychology. It's all about how the general crowd feels about the current state of the entire crypto markets. So if you guys didn't know, the S&P is down just a little bit. Let's S&P 500. I believe it is down about 0.9%, 0.95% today, sitting at $4,300. With the S&P going down and in the last 5 days having a little bit of a red week, we are still seeing that indication of correlation happening within the crypto markets as well. Going into some liquidation data. Mic is on and off. Is my mic on and off? Is it better? Is it better, my people? I'm gonna keep going. If it sucks, just let me know. Going into some liquidation data, we are now seeing on the 1 hour rect chart, we had $7.12 million of crypto getting liquidated. This also showed us 24 hours. In the last 24 hours, we've had 83,150 traders also getting liquidated as well. If my mic cuts out, you guys, my bad. I really think it's whenever my shoulder here hits this joint and just boom, 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 it knocks out the audio a little bit. So if you guys are watching a replay of this, please excuse any technical interruptions. We are ordering a new little mic stand, so hopefully this doesn't happen. Okay, it's a little better. I just gotta zoom out. Let me pull my computer so I don't touch the mic at all. All right, guys. Going back, something we talked about yesterday, which is obviously an important indicator within getting a gauge of where support levels for crypto are and Bitcoin, it's going to be that moving average. Let me refresh the charts on bar chart just so we have the most up-to-date data. Obviously, right now with Bitcoin sitting at $40,000, we are well under most moving averages, even the 20-day as well. What's interesting at this point here is even with Bitcoin, we need to at least get a gauge or a sense of where Bitcoin's bottom is going to be, especially if this is a short-term volatility pull down. We'll just do this over here on CoinMarketCap because I thought I had my trading view up, but I do not. Currently with the charts for Bitcoin, even if we look into the last month, you'll notice a few things here. Starting off just at the end of January, we did see Bitcoin hitting $43,000, and a lot of things have happened since then. So if we go back to our previous low of $33,495, that was when we saw some of the most liquidations happening amongst all exchanges. That's when we saw the fear and greed index pulling down to extremely fearful, and everyone thought this was the bear market. Shortly after that, we had the bounce up. We started getting confirmation in the market that it was not the case. We started to reconsolidate back into this zone right here, and pulling us out, we started to break out of $40,000. That's when we started seeing more green sentiment, and this was leading into the month of February. So since then, obviously, we've been making different strides in the market. One thing you want to keep a lookout on for, if you're just looking at Bitcoin from a very basic general technical standing, we want to make higher lows every time. What does this mean? So if Bitcoin pulls back, we don't want Bitcoin to see a support level of anywhere near $33,000 again. If Bitcoin rides up to $45,000 and we see it retrace back, we want it to stay at least above $40,000. But if it breaks below that and we start entering previous support levels, that isn't the best news ever. If we want to continue making strides, we pull it back to the 3-month or even the 1 year. Every time we are going up in this market, we want to make sure that we are making slow incremental progressions. So 1 year back to the 3-month, going back down in price. But ever since we started to enter this zone right here, going into the month of February, you'll notice that it looks like we are forming a pattern where we may be resuming out of this little descending area. Going into the all-time charts, pulling it out even more, this should give you a better refresher of where we are in the state of the market. Just remember the last time we had an explosive bull run right here, coming back down, resetting in price, and then resuming back up. This pattern looks very similar to what we could have even seen in the previous summer of when crypto started going parabolic. Everyone was making money from Shiba Inu. The Dogecoin millionaire was coming out of the cave, and we just got a lot of people being very greedy during times like that. So if you are a newer investor, here are some of the key points that I want to mention, because a lot of this, if you guys are new to the market, is going to be very, very important. It's going to be crucial for you to understand. If you guys have been through some swings, if you guys have been with us since the summertime, a lot of this is going to sound kind of repetitive, but it's things that you want to make sure that you keep reminding yourself of, just because when things get emotional, we tend to not act on our best behavior. So I want to just be a friendly reminder to you guys on that. When the markets are fearful, you don't want to panic sell. You don't want to sell everything thinking this is the one time to run and you're making the right decision, trying to time the bottom. It is very difficult for many investors to do that. Even if we go into TradingView and just seeing some of the theories on where we are currently with Bitcoin, the landscape of the entire market is all over the place. And this is just because no matter how good your skills are in being able to read charts and lines, no one can fully predict what's going to happen tomorrow or the day after that. But what we can know is where we are in terms of the overall innovation within the space. We can take a look at what I like to do, fundamental news. We like to take a look at seeing real data, on-chain analysis, and using that to paint a picture of whether or not crypto is still going to be around in the next 6 months, a year, or a few years from now. With all the companies, with all the articles, with all the venture funding that we've seen getting poured in, and even more, we've had some companies, or we've had some countries actually doubling down in the space. You let me know if you think everyone's just going to say, oh man, you know what? We made the wrong decision. Microsoft, Facebook, Activision, you name it. All these companies, Adidas going into the metaverse space. I believe Budweiser or Bud Light, one of the beer companies, even went and bought some land into Decentraland just a few weeks back. So y'all tell me if these companies all collectively made the wrong decision putting money into the crypto world, into the metaverse, into Web3, because I really don't think that's the case. I don't think that many people can be wrong about overall developing asset classes. And within our next live streams, I'll pull up some even more data on the developments that we saw within the web, technological advances that we've seen happen before in the past, and how similar it is to where we are with crypto. Now, before we do that, let's go into some further articles just talking about what's going on in the world. There was a lot of focus this week, especially with politics, war talks right now, even just some protests going on. First of all, if you guys have been keeping up with the news back in Canada, right now they've actually had some issues where they are looking to freeze some Bitcoin wallets. The reason why this is significant is because the amount of money within these wallets are not just, a couple $1,000s, couple $100s. It's millions of dollars that is getting sent over to these truckers or people right now who are protesting in this country. So going down, Pomp actually had a tweet earlier today and he said, wow, China is freezing descendants, bank accounts, and threatening citizens who express their freedom of speech. He says, oh, wait, sorry, it's Canada, not China. So people don't expect Canada, who's been known to be a more democratizing state, or democratizing country to, be acting in this way and really just putting a muzzle on a lot of their people. We even had El Salvadorian President Nayib Bukele also stating the real war is not in Ukraine, but right now it's in Canada, Australia, France, Brussels, England, Germany, Italy. They just want you to look the other way. And the reason why he said that is because we're seeing a lot of protests going on in other countries that mainstream media is not really showing. So, I mention this a lot. We don't talk too much about politics, but whenever it does involve the sake of the markets or what's happening within crypto, it is something worth mentioning just so you guys are aware of current news. They also state at the bottom of this article, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau invoked the Emergency Act on Monday earlier this week, which allowed local regulators to freeze Freedom Convoy protesters' bank accounts and monitor large and suspicious transactions, including crypto. The order specifically extended the scope of Canada's anti-money laundering and anti-terrorist financing rules to cover crowdfunding platforms. This is where they had a GoFundMe set up, and that was cut, that was paused, that was frozen, and the payment processors they use, they say this change covers all forms of transactions, including digital assets such as cryptocurrencies. Let me know what you guys think down below of the issues going on all around the world. I do think this still does play into a part of where we are with crypto. Kraken CEO, which is another exchange, very popular exchange, admitted that the firm could be forced to freeze some wallets by the police, advising to move crypto out of exchanges. So a big important note to make right here is if you do have your crypto on, Coinbase, FTX, crypto.com, a lot of the times if local authorities or even the government gets involved, when it is on an exchange, that is when they can dictate what happens to it. They can freeze those funds. They can say they're not going to be able to move it. When crypto actually gets sent over to storage that you are in charge of, like a Ledger wallet, cold storage, something that is offline, off the books, off the exchanges, something that is completely decentralized to you, where your ownership comes from that key passphrase, that is where you can continue to send, transfer Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies without regulation of the government. So, this is what a lot of these other companies are recommending right now. It is really interesting to see just how this entire story is playing out. If you guys did watch my recent video, I was in Canada just a few weeks ago, and I mentioned just how strict they were with COVID policies still at this point. But, just hearing from some of the Canadians that I met, just even from that trip, it is crazy, just everything that's been going on over the past few weeks and even the developments of the last few years that have led up to this moment here. So just stay informed and involved about this. Even though Canada isn't a huge country where they have a giant influence over the crypto markets compared to maybe even the US or maybe we say other Asian countries, it is still important to note, because if Canada decides to place even stricter regulations where they're limiting, even right now, the ability for people to transfer their crypto out of exchanges, we could see it get even worse in the future, but hopefully not, because a lot of awareness is going behind on this. And let me know what you guys think. All right, so chat, USA flags. All right. So next article we have is from 8 hours ago, and this is talking about the Binance executive to lead crypto expert center by Russian Bank Association. The Association of Banks of Russia has launched a dedicated expert center focused on cryptocurrency regulation. While we continue to progress through this month, we haven't gotten exact word just yet on what the US plans to do with regulation, but we know a lot of other countries are trying to move forward in this direction as well. The reason why this is so important for countries to develop some type of rules or standards when it comes to knowing how they feel about cryptocurrency, what their plans are, is because this is going to give them not only the first mover's advantage, but it's going to clarify for the people, for their citizens, on what they should also be doing next. So with Russia, we have word that they do want to come out with their own stablecoin, Russia's central bank government regulated stablecoin. And in doing that, it's going to progress them a lot further into the crypto markets. I think whichever country has more regulations set, it's also going to give the green light for the big boys, the big money, the institutions, the hedge funds to then pour money into this asset. Whichever country I believe has larger ownership of this entire pie, because don't forget, Bitcoin is still limited in supply. If this is going to be a race for every country having ownership of this crypto, it's going to give more power to them as well. So what's cool about this is whatever regulation happens, whatever developments are made by the government, we can still ride those waves. We are still very early into the space. If we take a look at adoption rates right now, surprisingly, a lot of this is still underway in terms of there's a lot more potential, where even if last year during the summer, we had everyone wanting to buy into Shiba Inu, the amount of people that still haven't been exposed to crypto is still fairly wide. The big thing is we've had other markets expanding that and allowing people to invest into crypto, like NFTs. That has been almost the gateway drug getting people in. Let's pull out one stat. I really like the Google Trends stat on the NFT market. So Google Trends. Also, do you guys like this live, by the way? Let me know. Here's my chat. Because it is nice not having to edit a video. Yeah, I like that. So right now we're actually seeing the interest of NFTs going down. It was at an all-time high for a pretty long time, even going up into January 16th to 22nd. Most times whenever we get markets riding up this high, there always needs to be a correction. Otherwise, a bubble will pop and people are going to be losing money. For me, even though I was into NFTs a pretty long time ago, I would say 2021, there was one winter where no one knew about it, and I still had to explain it to friends. When we went in right before this wave took off, it was back in November. I've mentioned this a few times on this channel. We were throwing the darts, but just throwing the darts at the wrong board. And the first early wave of adopters into the space was into NBA Top Shots. My psychology behind that was just because if NFTs never had blown up, we would have had the backing from an actual institution like the NBA. And even back then, we had physical baseball cards during the pandemic, basketball cards, a lot of art that was going really, really high in price. And even the Pokemon buzz that we had, where people were buying, trading, and selling Pokemon cards. That was my theory back then. And obviously, I was wrong on the board. But what I was right about was the overall development of the NFT market. What I think is going to happen next is, yeah, we are due for a correction. I think if the crypto markets does continue to slide, I don't think NFTs are going to completely pop either. Unlike many people's theories on that, I think it's still going to develop. I just think the transactions behind it are going to slow down significantly. And I think the amount of these projects that are getting built every day where people just want to start making quick money, have their project, and try to become the next Bored Ape Yacht Club, I think that is going to decrease significantly as well. I want to just compare this to the ICOs that we've seen with crypto. If you don't know what ICOs, it's initial coin offering. So very similar to when a stock comes out and they have an IPO, this is just the crypto version. We had a surplus of ICOs going wild back when altcoins and cryptos were first picking up and people were hearing about it. I just see a reflection of that happening within the NFT market. And I think when that does happen, and if we do see any slide or pullback, that is going to be another time to enter these markets so you can get that next second wave up. A lot of the correlations are happening within markets. That's why it is important for you to know what is going on so you know how to make the proper pivots. If we even take a look into Bitcoin, like we showed earlier, Bitcoin had multiple pumps this year, 1 and 2. With NFT markets just having that one and possibly having a bigger pullback right now, this could set us up for even something bigger. But it has always been a goal of mine to start entering some larger blue chip positions. You guys might have heard like, Jimmy Fallon, Justin Bieber, a lot of celebrities, even Snoop Dogg having millions of dollars into the NFT space. I don't think this is something that's just going to disappear. I think the next trend that's going to come about is the transition from crypto into NFTs, even with the amount of people just going straight into NFTs right now. It's going to cross-pollinate, and then hopefully we get that next boom pretty soon. But in terms of like where we are right now, and then moving into the month of March and April, I do want to reiterate the fact, I'm just going to keep reiterating this every video so it gets in your head. We have rate hikes coming up. That is set. That is certain. There's no way we're not going to see interest rates going back up. When that happens, usually we see more volatility in the market. We've seen the S&P go down significantly, not even when rate hikes were declared they were going up, but off the rumor that they might go up. So imagine what's going to happen in mid-March. Now, although even right now, the crypto markets are in a much better place than it was, let's say, just about a month back, or even 3 weeks back, it doesn't mean we can't see any more volatility. So when you're entering this space, just make sure you're not investing your child's college fund and they're senior in high school and you need that right now to start paying off tuition. Make sure the money that you have in the market is your money and is money that you don't need right now. When I'm investing, guys, when I'm putting monies into the market, when I'm putting monies and dollars into the market, I'm making sure that I do it off a principle called dollar cost averaging. It's something we recommend on this channel just because it is very difficult to time the bottom and it's difficult to time the top. And then it's difficult again to re-enter those positions just because greed does get in the way of a lot of emotions and the way we like to think as investors. So if you think like, hey, this is the bottom right now, you could place a full bet right now. If you have $1,000 you want to invest, you could throw that into the market right now. But if it dips even more Sunday, you're going to be like, man, I could have waited even more. This is why averaging in slowly is still shown to have much better proven. Is this working? Dang. Well, I'm glad. Okay, sorry guys. I'm gonna get a new mic. Every time I touch this mic, it cuts out, and I don't know what to do about that, but we're gonna get that fixed. But I see the chat. I see y'all. Okay, yes. All right, got it. We're good, right? All right, sorry about that, guys. Anyways, someone had asked Terra Luna, AVAX, and there was one other crypto. I'm more bullish on AVAX right now out of all the altcoins. If we're talking about moves that you can make right now, if this is the segment of the video that's most important to you, here's what I'd be doing in the market. When you have many different cryptocurrencies to be able to swing trade or to average into, there are plays that we've talked about just a few weeks early on as well. There are, I think, 3 different categories. It's going to be the Ethereum killers that we've talked about on this channel, and then differentiating which one of those is going to be the most highest return for the less amount or the least amount of risk. And then on top of that, we have exchange cryptos, which is going to have the funding, the value that can survive any type of pessimistic drop in the market. If we go into the worst bear market in the history of bear markets, which I don't think is going to be the case, but if that happens to be the case, what cryptocurrencies are going to allow you to sustain that, where you're not going to be losing 95% of your portfolio and then you're going to be growing 100 white hairs and some eye bags like I've been? What's going to allow you to survive that? Or on the other chance, if we do see more innovation happening within the markets and you want to double down on what these companies are doing, what's that next? So we mentioned that in the top crypto picks to invest in. I made that video just, I think maybe a week or 2 back. So check that out at the end of this stream if you haven't done so already. Just a quick TLDR. If I'm making a play right now, obviously Bitcoin is going to be the safest bet because it is the largest in market cap. It is where hedge funds, institutions are still putting in their bets. They're not going to be like, okay, the SEC or the government or regulators or even their bosses, their bosses, the Rothschild, the Illuminati, whoever it is. When they say we have the green light institutions to go in on crypto, they're not going to be saying, okay, Shiba Inu it is. Dogecoin it is. Let's find these cryptos, these random ones, and go in. It's going to be Bitcoin, right? So when we're talking about cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin is still going to be holding true, especially when we're in more of a red market. But if you do want to amplify those gains a bit, and we're talking about utility and we do know roadmaps of what's going on next, Ethereum is obviously still on that list. It is not difficult, especially when we're seeing the market cap of these cryptos. It is just a tale that is writing itself. If we are choosing a crypto to buy during this dip, I still prefer to buy a lot of the high cap and mid cap altcoins. Right now, Solana is still at $90. AVAX had a good run up. It's at $84. And to get a gauge of which one of these may even be better, we then look at DeFi Llama to see how much total value is locked. This is all the money that is locked within their protocols. It's going to give us an idea of what we should be looking at. And if I zoom in right here just to see the charts and show you guys on the screen, TVL right now has had a little bit of a recovery. So we're seeing that within the market, but obviously today we're having those liquidations as well. That is reflecting upon all the red that we're seeing on their different protocols. Going into Ethereum, a lot more red, seeing their graph, having that liquidation, having that bounce up. If we're comparing two cryptos, say as an example, Avalanche, which has actually been going up, it's not experiencing a huge dip in the market. It's still at $10.91 billion in TVL compared to maybe Solana, where it's been sliding even more, sitting at $7.57 billion. But then you see the discrepancy within the market where Avalanche is still, in terms of market cap, lower than Solana. That's where you can start doing a little bit of, just common sense. Hey, we're seeing more funding going into this protocol, this layer, but it's still under in terms of market cap. It's still under Cardano, as an example, which is at $1. So this is why AVAX has been a play that we've mentioned even since they were, $40, $50, going back before this spike right here on this channel. I still am bullish, at least on this project. And then there's actually a good Twitter thread that I have in my like section if you guys want to follow me there. There was one that was just really good, talking about the future plans with Avalanche and some of the innovations that they're making in terms of their actual white paper and how AVAX works. So let me see if I'll pull that up next video for you guys, okay? Going into it though, in terms of other cryptos, I know Polygon has been a big ask on this list just because it is down just a little bit more alongside crypto.com, which I believe even right now when we see the reflection in price with a lot of these altcoins, it's just nothing to be worried about. What I see it as is these altcoins have not done anything bad to say. They have not done anything to affect their price. It is just mainly the fact that the S&P is down. We're getting talks of war. Bitcoin goes down. Then altcoins, which are innocent in nature, have not been doing nothing naughty. They're also going down in price. So when you realize, think about it fundamentally, nothing has changed within the markets, but they just are getting affected. It's where this type of arbitrage allows you as an investor to make opportunities of wins. So even with Polygon, where even in the last year, they're still up a significant amount, you can still find opportunity where in the last month, they've been sliding down, but it doesn't mean that it's not going to happen where another all-time high of near $3 may happen if we're back on a bull run. Load up those bags, but do it at a reasonable and cautious pace. Do not over leverage yourself. There will just be influencers out there recommending leverage all the time. I don't use leverage. I don't recommend people to use leverage because the volatility in these markets could really damage people and wipe them out. And if you're trading, some meme coin for 100x leverage and then you're in debt for the rest of your life, that is just not what you want to play. If you are able to slowly invest in the market, ride the volatility dips, but see the overall innovation going up and riding the long-term uptrend as well, you're still going to be profitable in the long term. Okay, so that is pretty much the video for today. Today's video was also sponsored by no, I'm just kidding. Not FTX. It is actually sponsored by your boy, B Jung. Check out the group down below. Check out the links down below. Check out CoinStats. I got a sick discount for you guys listed down below in the description. They allow you to organize all your crypto exchanges onto one app. They're not sponsoring this, but just check it out if you guys want. I had to actually negotiate that discount deal pretty hard for my subscribers. You're not going to find anything like that. But other than that, hopefully you guys enjoyed today's update. Hopefully today's live stream with the audio cutting out wasn't too bad. And if you guys are watching a replay of this in the future, I appreciate you guys. And if you are making it down here, comment down below aluminum. Just aluminum is the key word. We usually be doing that, and we're not going to stop that even if we're doing these lives. And I do be seeing the chat too on my other computer. I appreciate you guys. Have an amazing weekend. We'll be back with some content back on Monday. But in the meantime, I will be posting over on my Twitter and Instagram. And I got my little crypto TED Talk coming on Friday. A little nervous for that. Been preparing for a few weeks. Little nervous for that. I'm used to talking to a camera, not in front of a whole audience. So you might think like, Brian, if you can do the camera, you can do the public audience. No, I tried rehearsing when no one was in the audience. It was booty. It was not good. It was embarrassing. So we'll see how much of a fool I make myself this weekend, but I'm going to prepare my best. We are going to be doing a little day in the life vlog again soon. A lot of you guys enjoyed the content I did before on that. And another thing is, actually some cool video plans we're not going to mention yet. All right, guys, thank you all so much again for watching today's live stream. If you guys are in the Patreon or the Discord group, I'll be hanging out there for a little bit as well. And I'll see the rest of you guys soon. Peace.